Look at this right here. I don't need to record from my house. I can just do it here in this study pod. This is nice. A little place I can record and stuff. Hopefully no one can really hear me, but it should do. Here, welcome to my Hazbin hotel review live in a freaking study pod. Well, here in the office, I just had to use it. I'm like, yo, let me utilize this. Okay, let me see if it works. So I tested it out, and yeah, it kind of works. You can't really hear much if I have it sealed closed, but so far it's a good. I don't know if I want to really test it by yelling and see if I can get anyone's attention. So I'm not gonna do that. But other than that, yeah. Also because my house is crowded and I really need my own place. I just want to record somewhere where instead of like spending cash on a studio, just give me a freaking private area where nobody can hear me. Like nobody can hear me yell. And thankfully, thank God for this. I have it right here in this small study pod. The seats are not comfortable and stuff, but it is nice in here. I wish I had my own something like this. But anyways, yeah, has been. I saw episode 5, episode 6. Mine, me forgetting about the episodes. Yep, I rebuke all evil as I'm recording this, and review and pretty much giving my opinions of these episodes because again, I don't know what it is. There is a part of me where it wasn't really meant to make hella good, even though it sort of is at the first when I first saw the pilot and stuff like that. But I really try to have trust in knowing that Viv is, gonna come to Christ with showing this. I don't know because he did. She sure didn't mention Jesus at all in this. But I'm just like, what if she did? What would that look like? Literally, like Vox is going up to freaking heaven and trying to take over. I guarantee God is gonna show up somehow, right? They literally showed Satan and they don't show Jesus. Like, what are we doing here? Like, is she even gonna go there or not? Like, come on. But anyways, let's just talk about it. I have some notes here and there. Viv did give a tweet about Lucy. I'm just gonna call him Lucy. I'm not trying to summon anything, especially here in this study pod. Okay, are you kidding me? But yeah, pretty much about Lucy, or AKA Charlie's dad. Viv did say like, oh, this is a different Lucy compared to the one in the Bible, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, sure, but it's still, you know what I mean? It's still Lucy, and there's a part of me where maybe it's her sense of fear right now when it comes down to mentioning demons and stuff like that. I don't know what's up with the spiritual realm of what she's dealing with. She has to be going through something. Many witches and people of the occult actually go through that. And I know for a fact that she has to, and not having Christ within her. So in my guess, I'm like, yeah, I I I mean, if she comes to Christ, then maybe like, she can, she'll be safe. And of course, it will be a much more different show for sure. But other than that, it still has the story of redemption for sure, but in a much more authentic way. Like there's authentic ways of redemption compared to what you see in the show, but not in hell. I don't know what to tell you about that. None of us know what goes on in hell, other than, suffering. Lucy kind of like mentioned it, like, my suffering is when all the sinners are basically that I cannot control or something, even being the king of hell. You know what I mean? Anyways, moving on. Also, songs here and there, in my opinion, felt rushed. I feel like they're rushing in a lot of songs here and there, and it's kind of like not really, it's not fitting much. And because the thing is that the timing and songs and everything is not necessarily like something that I really like. The thing is, it's not bad. The songs are hidden, but at the same time, it's like feels a little too rushed or something here and there. At least to me. But yeah, I don't know. We just like there's a lot of songs for Hazbin. I don't know how many artists that Viv hired, but man, oh man. Also, yeah, Charlie, again, like, there's a sense of like that she's supposed to be the daughter of pride, but again, she isn't. And I feel like she easily could take that, but there are so many parts of Charlie that she isn't really like. It's kind of like showing that she isn't the Princess of Hell, and I feel like that's meant to be in a purpose. And ironicism, I forget the word, but it just her, being sort of like the Princess of Hell, but not really. You know what I mean? And it's just like I forget that I keep noticing that. So here I am trying to qualify, like, oh yeah, I gotta remember, like, it's supposed to be ironicism that's winning. I don't know, like, because someone did mention Charlie, the daughter of pride, the biggest sin. At the same time, she isn't. But also, I do notice another thing. The VV Tower, where the V's live, not including me. I like to add that, okay? The V's not including me. Happens to be looking like the Tower of Babel, I mean, at least to me, kind of does look like it, but yeah. Is it the Tower of Babel? Is not? Well, who knows? Also, it's freaking hot in here. I just realized. I don't know if is there a way to turn on the AC or something, but I am sweating. I also got to take a jacket on. But yeah, those are my notes, and I guess we're going into the theory here that I wrote down. I'm just gonna read it because I forget what I wrote down last night. I wrote all this down last night. A lot of notes here. Okay, let me tell you. Viv's idea of heaven itself, and this is my guess. I mean, it looks good, but the thing is that there's parts of this and there that she can do whatever she wants. I'm hoping that, especially as Vox is going into heaven, that heaven, like, in many ways shouldn't look bad. Yes, there's bad intentions for sure, and I have to call them bad for a reason. People would come in here and there and be like, that's not bad, it's not evil. This is literally hell. You do know that, right? A sense of goodwill and stuff like that. It is like, shouldn't be non-existent. And because it's real places. It's like showing like, oh, this place in a certain country is like good, but is it though? I mean, there's parts that is good because it's on earth, but when you're talking about hell, like, nothing is really good. You do know that, right? And I get this feeling that Viv could show the goods, like, showing that heaven is, especially it being taken over what Vox really wants. There's this idea that, yeah, she probably might not make, like, just torturing heaven and stuff like that, because I'm kind of worried about how's that gonna look. Like, that's not necessarily possible. Like, God's place is never a place of, torture at all, and demons coming in out of nowhere. It's like, and I get that it's a show, it's a cartoon show at the end of the day, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. And that's why a lot of Christians are against this show for sure, because of that reason, because they're worried that, something like this. And the thing is that seeing Sarah for sure, like, being, having the reason of why, let's be real here. In the authenticity and also the realism of the world we live in, most people go to hell, plain and simple. But when it comes down to what Sarah is doing, and she is worried about this is something that she's worried about. The fact that she went down there, alongside with Charlie and agreeing with this and stuff like that, even though Charlie never wanted this, her fears can somewhat definitely be real. And there's a part of me where I'm kind of afraid that, yeah, hell going up to rise. But at the same time, realistically or biblically, I like to say, I don't think you, like, when it comes down to, within the Bible, that there's no mention, there's like of ever anyone going down to hell for any reason at all. I think they just went down there for something different, but I guarantee it wasn't like to, I don't know, kill off demons. Because the thing is that when you die in hell, when you die in heaven or something, where else do you go? I don't think do you go back or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where did Adam go? He's just gone. But, I mean, he's in heaven. He was from heaven, right? And then just out of nowhere, like, he just died. It just doesn't make sense, you know? I keep thinking about that. I'm like, I don't, doesn't cut it, because hell and heaven are two different areas. You cannot go here, you cannot go up there. And the thing is that the idea of redemption from hell is to me a lesson that people can be redeemed, even though they're literally in their lowest. I mean, like Alistair, for example. I was hoping that he could be redeemed, but sadly, it looks like a lot of people are not redeemed. And I see that with Angel, I see that with Huss, especially in this episode. I know it's trying to set it up, but there's a part of me where it's like, well, I guess the redemption is just non-existent. Who knows? But, in episode 5, last time seeing Alistair smited, and I'm going to read the notes here. You got Vox bragging and then breaks into his song. There's going to be a lot of that, where a lot of these characters break into a song. Also, some other characters are appearing, like the Rex demon, and also some other characters here and there. And yeah, we see Charlie wanting Emily back, basically doing this whole, like airplane signal thing going on. And it looks funny at first, but she really wants Emily back. And I never thought Emily would respond. I never thought Heaven would respond. But, thankfully, Emily caring about Charlie, it happened. Also, there's these theories that, Emily was going to be a fallen angel. Not really. I mean, I don't think that would happen, because at the end of the day, that is like Sarah's sister, right? If I'm wrong, I don't know. When it comes down to the sibling aspect of it, because is it authentic at all? I know seraphims are real, the same way demons are real. And yeah, later on we see Angel showing up. We see Baxter taking notes, kind of like what I did, and also talking about the therapy session that Husk is doing, aka just yelling at them. And I feel like it's showing that nowadays that can work somehow. You just gotta be freaking dead honest on people, you know what I mean? And notes, oh yeah, I took a note here. Background characters getting their part. Like, I noticed a lot of background characters officially getting their part in the show. And it is something that is, I never thought would happen, but, here we are. Like, a lot of them are getting their parts. A lot of, and I feel like this is from the fans that requested it in ways. Also, we see Lucy, and this is pretty much when I have to say Lucy. I'm not trying to say the full name, okay? I'm not trying to manifest here. But Lucy also is a punishment being, what is it? Like nothing or something? Or just like I think I mentioned it before. Like not controlling the top sinners, even though he's like the king of hell. Yeah. Oh yeah, I put it there about the overlords. The overlords, yeah, that's right. Because V for sure is like yeah, I guess top overlord, and that's why he's the next one to actually go up there. And I think that's the whole concept of the overlords. The thing is that that's not a realistic point of view or something, even though it could be, but it's not, because the thing is that hell itself could basically rule earth, and that would just be a heaven. That's not necessarily real. It's only an earth. I mean, you could see it out there. There's certain examples, but I'm not going to go into it. There's too many. But it's different when, because the concept of overlords here on earth is basically kings, princes, dukes, that kind of titles, basically. And yes, of course, there's a lot of them, just it is what it is. Also, we go back to heaven, and we can see Charlie. We see my boy Serpentuous, aka Repentuous. And yeah, the whole leader group is there, except for Peter. Also, Emily had this idea of apologizing. Everyone is now going to hell. Well, when I say hell, they basically, Sarah made a portal and then, yeah, showed up there. So, and as Charlie, you see Charlie realizing, I guess that's what I put there in the notes, explaining Vox is making Hazbin look bad. And also we see the scene of Vox getting set for stage. And this is where, most of the big stuff is going down. between the angels and the demons together, and pretty much the demons scare the angels away, of course, and and out of nowhere, like, Lucy just showed up. And Charlie is pissed, even though Lucy's, tried to be sneaky and just try to get out of there before having her daughter see him. And then later on, Valentino, I why I mentioned Valentino. I guess I mentioned this highlight of him saying for diversity, like we have an 8 for diversity's sake or something, just calling people out. But next up, yeah, Vox on stage, and Vox mentioned something about, like, man, I'm trying not to manifest Lily. We'll just say Lily for now, okay? So Lily, saying Lily would be proud, and it's like, what does that mean? Especially knowing Lucy's there. Like, that's what Vox just mentioned Lily in front of Lucy's face. Lily. And it mentions, like, what is going on? Like, there's a lot of setup behind Lucy that a lot of setup by Lily. By Lily that I don't know of, and because we haven't heard her talk or something, it's kind of weird. The realistic concept of Lily is basically that, yeah, she's an empowering, and that, I guess they got that correctly. I think Viv did her, research behind that. When it comes down to Lily and the empowerment ideal, she was known to be the first feminist out there, and then she wanted an empowering, the sense of rebelliousness. And that's the same thing with Lucy. Vox mentioned Lucy, like in the biblical sense that, his wings was clipped, he was sent down to hell, he was a fallen angel. And then later on mentions Lily, which I kind of forgot some from the scenes because, well, I don't have a computer in front of me. But it's so interesting that this is all, like, coming together. Like, the whole family's brought up. Even though Charlie didn't hear it because, well, he's alongside with the angels. And the angels are there, just over there apologizing. They brought baskets, thanks to, Emily and, I guess, Abel in a sense. And yeah, the people in hell were not buying it. This is kind of a good example of not forgiving. Forgiveness is a very powerful tool that as human beings we have. But when you're in hell, that's thrown out the window. Forgiveness is just something that doesn't add. Like, it makes sense that they're bitter and stuff and all these sins, and that's like a very dangerous environment to know, like, especially for people to be part of, when you have, like, all this sense of sins and everything. And, you just hope that people are good or something, but there's a lot of hell on earth. And forgiveness is something that is so hard for them to accept, especially to Vox, talking about, like, what you did to our, sinners, or the people that you killed because you're worried of an uprising. And the thing is that realistically, in heaven, worry is not an issue. And, well, to be honest, hell and heaven colliding together is not really an issue because they're separated for a reason from earth, But yeah, Vox didn't take that and was like, no, we're gonna go up there and take all of you out. And that's what he wants. And I don't blame heaven. I don't blame hell for wanting that, or at least Vox, or at least the majority, because of whatever happened to, especially what, for example, happened to Vaggie, when she was part of, like, the angel killing group. It just makes sense, like, of, like, why they really want a resistance, they want a revolution or something like that. And this is kind of like the example of it. They're already in hell, and pretty much, they're willing to go up there, and that's like a crazy goal for sure. But the thing is that who is really gonna stand against hell? Like, you kind of have to mention God at this point. Like, God wouldn't want hell. God wouldn't want heaven to be in danger. But I don't know what's Viv's interpretation of God. We see the speaker of God, but did we see God himself? And who would be God in there? Would it be Jesus? Would that be, like, the full-on reveal? We already have, like, certain biblical aspects of the show. We have, like, Lucy, in a sense, We have like Cain and Abel. Well, not Cain and Abel. We have Peter and Abel, right? Is it Peter and Abel or is it like the other ones? Someone's like going on slouching there. But yeah, it's gotta be interesting how they gotta really place this all together and stuff like that. But also, man, if somebody's sleeping, just go home. Golly, they're like slouching all over the freaking couch. I'm just looking at them. They can't hear me. Hopefully, they can't hear me. I know they probably can't hear me. But yeah, moving on. I guess the war is gonna be a go to the point where Vox even went up to what's her name? Carmine. The weapon producer or something. Someone can correct me, okay? And maybe it's a good thing that I got the name wrong because I'm not sure this is a real demon. We've seen real demons in this, okay? Especially from the 7 demons. Oh man, that and hell of a boss. Listen, there's a reason why I couldn't get a hell of a boss. I just couldn't do it. But the 7, ones that wonders. I feel like it's good to not say the name, authentically or whatever. But I know how the Hazbin fandom works. The weapon producer, I mean, I feel like I might go into that a bit later, but where I'm at with my notes, let me see. Then Heaven came to apologize in comment. Okay, yeah, and then I said something. Oh, this is why I wish like these would show up. And then yeah, Sarah transforms. Oh yeah, Sarah transforms into this bigger angel, and basically confess and said it all. Talk about everything. I mean, pretty much the way that she transforms, at first it stunned people, but not enough to stop, Vox and his reign of vengeance or something, And I guess, when it comes down to the sin of vengeance, that's something of hell that they wanted, The idea of, like, wrath and a sense of hatred can sometimes affect you big time. For sure. And then, yeah, the angels left, hell declaring war. Hazbin hotel, of course, gets empty. I feel like this is an ongoing routine that they're just getting emptier and emptier. And it's kind of weird. This could have been the perfect moment to showcase people, listen, you could have been redeemed. I feel like there could have been seeds planted, between other different individuals, because there's a lot of people on Vox's stage showcasing that, or basically if the angels would showcase that Serpentress is actually in heaven. This could have been a perfect opportunity. I don't know. But Charlie gets mad at Lucy and also at Vaggie. The end. And that's pretty much it. That's what I have for the notes for freaking episode 5. But now moving on to episode 6. And we see Vox talking about his mother, Lily. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm talking about it like I'm talking about Charlie. Let me get this a little bit more corrected. Vox is talking about Lily having a dream. And also mentions a song that Lily made. And then we were introduced to Miss Carmine, and her daughters were there, and Velvet is there for some reason. And also, yeah, Carmine regretting giving Charlie weapons, and also you see Vox trying to have Velvet apologize, which I guess she did, but not necessarily. I don't know if they have beef or something. But yeah, I put Carmilla. Carmine is being manipulated, wanting to get the weapons because Vox requested, and that's, because Vox knows that these weapons would kill the angels, and that's what Vox wanted. And then we move on, and then, out of nowhere, like, as Carmine is trying to collect all this and making her decision, there's this, like, battle between, two sides in her brain. She wants the safety of, her family, but also made an agreement with Charlie that wouldn't give this to anyone else, especially with Vox, and then fails. And, it's kind of like, well, what do you expect? At the same time, it's understandable. And you even have, like, I'm just gonna call him Zesty, okay? the Spider Lord, talking to Carmine about this, and it's like a wow, this is a real thing. And the thing is that I do like the Spider Lord. He's like this wise man. Too bad he's a demon. He's like, there's something. Yeah, of course, there's many haunting things about him, but at the same time, he's like wise. We need a lot of wise people. I mean, I at first I thought Husk was going to be the wise one, but obviously not. And we're gonna get into that later on. But yeah, back to the hotel. Vaggie does doing work around the hotel more so, and also Charlie doesn't want to talk to Vaggie, and there's this whole scuffle between them two because of the argument of the ending of last episode. And out of nowhere, with the same thing with Alistair, Huskers is out. So yeah, Husk is out and just goes back to the freaking casino. And you see Nifty, and I see something in the background, Nifty playing with Baxter. That was cute. But yeah, Charlie basically saying Lily, her mother, I'm in the right spot, everyone, okay? Has, basically talked about empowering sinners. And the thing is, yeah, that's what Lily wants. But we don't know much about Lily because at the same time, like, Lily for sure, like, is, like, she's... Hold on. There's some people around here. Let me see what they want. Guess nothing? Okay. I don't know if the library's getting or crowded or something, but people want to use this boot? I'm not going to move. But where was I? I got distracted. Lily... What Charlie said, Lily, her mother... basically empowers sinners, and pretty much Vox twisted that in a different sense. But we don't know what Lily wanted, because we haven't heard her talk. We haven't heard her point. She hasn't even answered the calls and stuff like that. And then we see Nifty, the scene where she has the bugs playing a band. What is up with Nifty, man? She has a ball of surprises, I swear. Next up, we got the freaking scene in the casino. We're in the casino. Oh, no. And we got a song by Husk. And the thing is that there was too many songs. I couldn't really place them all. But this song from Husk was pretty good. It was catchy. I kind of dig it. Moving on, we also have what is this? Oh yeah. Reason why Carmine fights as Vaggie and Charlie has entered the factory. And pretty much, of course, Charlie is upset because Carmine kind of didn't go full on with the agreement of not, selling weapons to, other sinners and stuff like that, but then breaks Charlie's agreement. And I feel like that should be a crime itself, because the thing is that Charlie is still the princess of hell, right? She makes demands, she's trying her best. You see the upcoming powers here to be, but then you see the rebellious, it's kind of interesting because it's very telling of nowadays when it comes down to the common man versus the people of power and stuff like that. We have literally the Prince of Hell. We have angels coming down, basically the leaders, and you have Lucy down, especially, and I'm basically referencing episode 5 because these are all up against Vox, which is just a common sinner down there, or basically a common overlord. And yeah, everybody chooses to listen to Vox because of the influence, because influence is showing that, that's a powerful thing. I could say something against the president, for example, and I would be right and people could be on my side. And there's a slight chance that it could be a full-on revolution. But hopefully it isn't, because I'm not good with crowds. I don't want to be famous, okay? I just don't. I can't imagine being famous for certain things, and that's why I don't really hop on YouTube much as I used to. Because, well, I'm not trying to start a revolution. I'm just a man here playing games and stuff like that. But the thing is that in this day and age, people anywhere can start a revolution. Anyone, anywhere can start a movement, for sure. And you see the influence between that as Fox shows, I just want to put a little comment there about it. But it, of course, Carmine doing this for a reason. And I don't know where we just went back to the casino. back to the casino, and then I see Angel performing. At first, I thought it was the sister or the brother, but actually, no. It's just Angel. Spoiler, it's just Angel there, apparently cross-dressing, and I kind of completely forgot about that because I'm like, wait, what about the sister? Apparently, we don't get an introduction of the sister or whoever. And also, we have a returning character from the pilot. We have actually some returning characters here and there. It's kind of interesting, you know what I mean? Moving on, we go into Valentino's studio. He's doing his work. And then out of nowhere, Vox asks Valentino, like, can I use Angel? And I'm worried about that. There's this part of me where many Angel fans are worried about this moment. And if this was like a few years ago when the pilot was happening, man, I would be traumatized. The same thing that this would create a backlash for sure at that time. But the thing is that since it's later on, and since I'm not that high valued of any show at this point because I don't idolize, this is just like, another traumatizing and high point moment. Especially just discovering that Angel was manipulated to be a spy or hypnotized to be a spy because Vox's manipulate or hypnotizing powers, and the same powers that started Revolution is the powers that he uses on Angel against the hotel. And it's like, that's a shocking reveal. Like, where did we get that? I was gonna think about it more or so, but I guarantee there's theories videos that are gonna talk about it. Cartoon universe. But moving on. Yeah. Just Vox using hypnosis, and later on we got we got a little bit of lore of Valentino. Apparently he's from Florida, and he speaks Espanol. I don't know what's up with the freaking characters. We see Vaggie and Valentino all cussing in Espanol, and of course, Viv being Latino, like it seems like the perfect person to depict that in a sense. So that's interesting. But also, who is Val? We got that lore. Apparently, being from Florida, kind of interesting. But moving on, I'm hearing noises. Is anyone hearing that? Is it okay? We go back to the hotel. Cherry taking care of Nuggets, and also this whole thing about with Cherry. There's a lot of good screen time with Cherry, and especially with Fat Nuggets. It's good to see him. I don't know why Angel left, or maybe Angel is just doing a thing, other ways to make hustles, because I don't know. What's his hustle right now? Well, still with Valentino, but I guess he's still doing his thing, and obviously met, two of them, Vox and, not Vox, but Angel and Husk, both having a conversation at the hotel. And then, of course, like, Husk has this worry because, asking where did Angel went. And then we cut into Angel, and then that's when Angel was, like, getting choked and getting abused by Vox himself. And of course, showing the reveal. And I did hop on that a little too quick, but of course, I'm following what I'm drawing here on my notes, basically. Angel was, what's this? Okay, hold on, give me a minute. Oh, yeah. That's me, Angel. Angel was a spy, not knowing. Nifty writing a bug ban, and there was this part that I forgot to put down. It was between Angel and I'm sorry, what am I saying? Vaggie and Charlie doing a song together, and it was one of those moments where I realized, like, okay, this stuff is going a little too quick here. Like, some of the songs are going too quick. I feel like the episodes could have been longer for that, but I don't know. It would be longer for me to make notes, that's for sure, and I have to stay here a bit longer. But, yeah, Charlie... okay, Charlie, Colin... See, I think that's it. That's all I got right now. I'm all over the place. I wish I had to, put the screens here and there to have better memorization, but I'm not a professional YouTuber, so, and I got things to do. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, adjust. These are some good episodes, man. These are saying some plots, saying some good visualization and opinions about like heaven, hell, and the Bible in a sense. To Viv, it's a lot of interesting aspects. Now, will God show up in the next episodes, man? I don't know. And I feel like episode 7 is one we like stop. It could be the longest one. It probably not. I'm not sure. But anything can happen, man. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you when I see you. One love and peace and God bless.